Hey guys, so this is Addie, and she's going to help me today show you where all of your upper extremity muscles are, okay, where their origins are and where their insertions are. So Addie said hey.
Hey.
So what I need from you is to grab at least your blank muscles chart, just like we use for lower extremities. If you want to try this at home, get some masking tape and some magic markers. And an awesome little sister or brother or kid. This is my kid, not my little sister. No. And let them be your model. Maybe mom and dad will help out. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with your, upper body. Pull up my notes. And we're going to do the posterior axio-appendicular skeleton. So Addie's going to turn around. So we've got posterior, axio, spine, appendicular, arms, right? Your appendages, okay? So our first muscle is our trapezius. You're gonna say that way. Okay, trapezius is this huge muscle in the back. I'm gonna move her hair. Can you hold your hair back for me? And so our origin starts at the lower thoracic vertebrae, so which would be right here, and the upper thoracic vertebrae. So I'm not gonna put this all the way down yet. So upper thoracic, kind of in there. This is a little too big for her, but that's okay. And if you can see on my tape, it says trapezius. Let's see, and then when we insert, they're going to insert into the scapula. So that means it's going to have, this is some scapular help, right? Or it's going to help the scapula. So she's going to put, oh, this one's stuck on my hand. That's okay, we'll pretend. It's going to kind of go just like this. These are the muscles that we use when we do shoulder shrugs.
This tickles.
It tickles?
Yeah,
So next we're going to do, oh wait, so this, the motion for this. Because the joint that it crosses is this, it's a scapulothoracic joint, which is not a real joint. So it's pseudo joint, and it's the upper traps do scapula elevation. So Addie, put your hands down. I want you to shrug your shoulders. I want you to shrug your shoulders up. Shrug up, up. So the scapula moves up, and then the lower traps do scapular depression. They're just going to bring the shoulder blades down. Okay, I don't know if you can see that really well, but I'll get some pictures for you. You're good.
I can't move my head up.
Oh, is your hair stuck?
No, I tape.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Don't tape it to their hair. They whine. All right. Next, we have our latissimus dorsi. This is our swimmer's muscle, okay? It's part of the posterior appendicular, axio-appendicular skeleton, and it's on the posterior side as well. So our origin is a lower thoracic lumbar. So where's our lumbar? So thoracic and lumbar region of the spine, or yes. And then it's going to go, check this out, it's going to go to the medial, it's going to come around up underneath, kind of underneath the arm. Stop, lift your arm for me. And let's see, to the medial humerus. So it's going to go inside the arm. She's a little ticklish here. But this is where it goes. Addie, lift your arm up again. So, do you see the connection here? Here, I'll put it up a little bit higher. Lift your arm up, like out, like, why? Because this is your wing, okay? So it's going to come down there, just like that, latissimus dorsi. So what does this do? Does it cross any joints? Yeah, it crosses your glenohumeral joint. What's that? Your shoulder. This is good for adduction. So this muscle is going to help bring the arms back close to the body. And also, internal, let's get a couple of jobs. Goodness. Internal rotation. So it's going to help the arm, since it's on the inside of the arm, it's going to allow the arm to twist in. And then it's also an extension. So if you were to extend your shoulders, shoulder extension, arms actually come back. So straighten your arms and pull back. So that's your extension of the shoulders. Turn sideways. There we go. Latissimus dorsi has a lot of jobs. Okay, rhomboids. These are hanging up underneath the trapezius. Let's see, your origin is your thoracic vertebrae. So turn around. They go up in here. And you know the shape of like a rhombus, maybe that's that name. And let's see. There's the medial border of the scapula. So I put it straight up, but don't go straight up. So the medial border is this inside border right here. And that's going to help with scapular retraction. So when you retract, you're going to bring the shoulder blades, the inferior ankle is going to come close to the midline of the body. So bring them together. Can you bring these two shoulder blades together? Yep, retraction. Well, that's very overemphasized, but yes. You want to look at retraction. So next.
Can I do it now?
Yeah, you're done. You don't have to hold that. Scapular retraction. Levator scapula is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's going to start at the cervical region. And it's going to go to the superior medial region of the scapula. The cervical region, superior medial. Okay, top, kind of near that superior angle. Okay. Up here, starts in the neck, not on the hair. I'm going to take this down under her shirt. So levator scapula. And that's going to help with scapular elevation. Kind of like it's going to assist with your trapezius, and it's going to lift the shoulders up. There we go. That's okay. So we're going into our teres major. This is now our scapulohumeral muscles, and this is posterior lateral if you're looking at location. For your origin, it's the lateral inferior border of the scapula. So what's that mean? Lateral, we come up to the outside. Inferior border, right? So it's going to kind of come down to the bottom of the scapula. And then our insertion is that, if I can see that far away. Our insertion here, so I'm going to tell you right, is the anterior medial aspect of the humerus. So look at the anterior medial. This one actually comes up and around. So it's going to start down here. And it's going to kind of come medial, anterior medial, kind of in the front of the arm. So Addie, turn around. Kind of up here, right? Anterior front, middle of the arm. So that's your teres major. So that's going to help with adduction. Yeah, so we're going to add to the body. So arms again, come out. Just like the latissimus dorsi. They're going to add to the body. And it's also going to help with the internal rotation. So it's the insertion points here. It's going to let you, turn in. So pull back out. Insertion points here, we're going to rotate in, internal rotation. There we go. Nice. Let's go for our next one, the deltoid. Ooh, this is one of the prettiest muscles. Deltoid muscle is at the top of our shoulder, yes, a cap. So another scapulohumeral muscle. This one is superior lateral, so it means it's on top and it goes out. So we start at the pectoral girdle and spine of the scapula. This one kind of goes all over.
We still have lots left.
No, we don't have many.
Well, yeah.
We don't have that many. Come closer, okay? See, so starting with our pectoral girdle, at the spine of the scapula, which is right through here, you know, it kind of comes all around. So for today, we'll start with the spine, but note that it does come through the front a little bit at the acromioclavicular joint as well. Okay, so it comes here and here, and it comes down to the lateral part of the humerus. So this is a glenohumeral joint muscle. And it's going to do AB, abduction. So it's going to take the arms away from the body. Yep. So that's that first move in your jumping jack. Abduction, adding it back. Adduction. So our deltoid brings it back. Takes it away. So this is going to shorten. Let me take it off your...
It's fine. It's fine. It's
okay.
fine.
You're going to get a lot of tape on your body. All right. So let's change.
Just right on my arms.
Change
right
it up
here.
a little bit. Let's move.
Like right here too.
Huh?
Right here too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a little bit, not much.
Okay, good. I don't want to
Make sure. So that was our deltoid. Now we're going to go to our rotator cuffs. Okay, sits. S-I-T-S. Our rotator cuff muscles are going to be these muscles that attach to the glenohumeral, or to the humerus, the head of the humerus really, and pulls it into the glenoid cavity. So it helps depress the humerus into the pectoral girdle. So our supraspinatus, turn around for me. Do you remember your anatomy of your scapula? You have your supraspinous fossa. As luck would have it, your supraspinatus just hangs out in that supraspinatus, supraspinous, if I can speak, fossa. So it's right there, sorry. And then it's going to just come on the lateral part, I believe. Yeah, just to the head of humerus, okay? So that's going to cross over your glenohumeral joint, and it's also going to help with abduction. It's going to assist the deltoid, okay? And it's going to slide right underneath where the acromioclavicular joint is. Next, is our infraspinatus. That's going to be our eye, right? Sits. S-I. Where do you think this goes? Infraspinatus. The supraspinatus went above the spine in the spinous process. Infraspinatus goes below the spine of the scapula into the infraspinous process, right? The same thing comes around and inserts on the posterior, the back part of the head humerus. There we go. Teres minor. It's got its big sister teres major. This is teres minor. Let's see. It's going to go in the lateral border of the scapula, so lateral outside border of the scapula. It's going to kind of be down here a little bit, and it's going to come up here to the posterior head of the humerus, just near the infraspinatus. Okay. So that's our T. Now we have one more S.
I can barely stretch out right here.
So yeah, we have one more S here. We have supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, subscapularis. This one, think of where your subscapular fossa, where's that at? That's on the inside, right? On the anterior side of the scapula. So I can't post that on the anterior side of her scapula, obviously. Let's see, we're gonna put it to where it would be. So imagine it's right there on the anterior side, and then it's gonna come through to the head of the humerus. Kind of around the front. So it's actually going to go around the front. Kind of hold it in a little bit.
It's peeling off.
It's peeling off. There you go. So just imagine that it's going down through there. So the subscapularis, so it's actually going to come underneath and kind of near your serratus anterior. All right, we're done with that part.
Like
those are your rotator cuff muscles.
You can barely see because it's like I'm my back short and
let's get a close up really quick.
You can barely see any of them because my back's short and I'm not a grown up.
You're okay. And now we go for our pecs. Okay, so moving to the front of the body. Anterior. Where are we at? I missed it a little bit. Okay, the anterior muscles of the shoulder girdle. So our pectoralis major, pectoralis minor.
Any on this side?
No. Oh, we can do your biceps on that side if you want to. So we're going to start anterior lateral, so it means goes from the front, moves out to the side. The pectoralis major, it's huge. It starts at your clavicle. It's attached to your clavicle, your sternum, your costal condylar cartilage. So it's all up through here, okay? And then it's going to go out and insert on your lateral. It inserts laterally to your anterior proximal humerus, right? So we're here, so it's the sternum, anterior proximal humerus. It's going to be up top. There we go. Pectoralis major. It's upside down.
This might come off.
It won't come off right now.
Well, yeah, because this is not the sticky tape.
Nope. So pectoralis minor is going to hide underneath that. That's his baby brother. So it's going to start actually at the upper ribs. So it's a lot smaller for the upper ribs, and it's going to go to your coracoid process. So that process is that bird's beak that's hidden right under here. So we're going to put that under here. And this is part of your scapula, your coracoid process. And your first rib, first rib is up here a little bit. So put that together and that goes across. Give you a little idea. So that big job for that little muscle is scapular depression. That was right.
It's kind of like a long line for X marks the spot and then a short one.
Yeah, kind of. So clavicle or scapular depression, and that joint that is crossing is that fake joint, that scapulothoracic joint. Now for your subclavius, what does that sound like? Sounds like it needs to go below the clavicle. Oh, my bad. So wait, the pectoralis minor was upper ribs. Subclavius is the first rib, okay? So let's fix that on your chart. So we go for our first rib, and this one is going to go underneath your clavicle, and it's going to attach to the distal side, the inferior side of the distal clavicle. So first rib, clavicle is right here, and it's going to go underneath and attach. So that's going to kind of give you an idea. So that's going to be clavicle depression. That's going to keep this bone from popping up, okay? So serratus anterior, now we're moving on down. It's anterior lateral, it's actually anterior lateral of the ribs. So lift your arm up for me.
I can barely.
You can barely lift it up. It's going to come on the side here, and it's going to go underneath near where that subscapularis muscle is, and it's going to attach to the scapula on that side. So that's going to help keep the scapula connected to the thorax. Okay, it's going to keep it to the cavity, to the ribs back there. Yeah, so scapular depression, and it's an anterior stabilizer as well. It's part of keeping the scapula close. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh my goodness.
You said, 8 more left.
Oh, only 8 more left. Okay, so now we're going to move into the arms.
Ribs on like this?
Nope, we're not doing ribs. Ribs aren't muscles. Okay, now we're going to the biceps.
Oh, I meant on this side.
So what I have here, long head biceps, brachii, and they have short head. So you want to do biceps on your right arm or your left arm?
This one, because it doesn't have any tape.
Okay, she wants to make this side. So long head of the biceps. You have this little bicipital groove here, and your greater tubercle and your lesser tubercle. So that long head of the bicep tendon is going to go right through that bicipital groove, and it's actually going to come on down to the elbow, to the radius. I should have made this a little bit longer. Don't turn your arm. I want you to be just like this, okay? In anatomical position. So that's going all the way up. So it's on the glenohumeral joint. It's crossing past the elbow joint, as well as the short head. So the short head's going to be a little different with its origination point, right? So it's going to originate on the coracoid process, that little bony prominence right here. Yep, she felt it. So it's, you can't tell, but it's actually a lot shorter, okay? And this one should come down as well, all the way down. So we're going to make do, pretend like they're extending down into the arms. Because both of these
It's like they have bones, but with the letters on
they're muscles. Both of these are shoulder flexors and elbow flexors. Anytime we flex, we decrease that joint range. Okay?
We have these in our body, but we don't have words on them.
You don't have words on it, right? Now our brachialis.
This feels weird.
Brachialis starts at the anterior humerus. So it's going to go right here. And it's going to end at the anterior ulna. Okay, so remember ulna is the medial bone. So if you're in anatomical position,
like all
there
of
you
these
go.
are together?
So they help, kind of, sort of. So the brachialis is only going to flex the elbow.
I don't want to look because I feel like it's going to come off.
But now we've got the brachioradialis. So radialis, what's that sound like? We're going to start in the middle of the bicep, or middle of the humerus again. This time we're going to go to the outside of the arm. I learned this yesterday. Your thumb is rad, so the radius has to be on the thumb side, right? So you've got your,
Skeleton.
brachioradialis coming through here. It's going to go to the radius. What's its job? What joint does it pass through, Emma, or Addie, whatever kid you are, man? What joint does it pass through? So this is your elbow joint. So it's going to pass across your elbow joint, which means it's going to work at your elbow joint. Make it flex.
I'm a skeleton that has tons of bones covering each other.
Okay, now we have our coracobrachialis. Here's a little hint here. Come here. So this one's tucked up underneath the short-headed bicep, actually. They both originate on the coracoid process, but this one only goes to the middle of the humerus.
This is so weird.
So what does that mean? If it's only going from the shoulder joint down to the middle of the humerus, is it going to move the elbow?
I don't know. We don't learn bone. We don't.
No, it's not going to move. So the coracobrachialis is not going to flex the elbow.
I said I don't know.
It's only, I'm talking to them, not you. It's only going to flex the shoulder. Okay, shoulder flexion comes forward, shoulder extension back. We have 3 more muscles and we're done. Super fast, okay? So you have the long head of the triceps.
Party with more muscles.
What? So long head of the triceps, lateral head, and medial head. Now turn around, we get the back of the arm. So long head of the triceps, this one's a special one too. So star this one, star your coracobrachialis. So long head of triceps is going to start at the scapula, which is but a little bit lower than the glenoid cavity. Okay, so here's your scapula back here. It's going to be a little bit lower down here. So and then it's going to come all the way down to the elbow. Okay? So triceps breakout, long head. So if it's crossing the shoulder joint and the elbow joint, right? What's it going to do? It's going to extend at the shoulder and extend at the elbow. She'll let me move her arm. Extend at the elbow.
I'll let you just
But check this out. Oh, they're all getting stuck together now. Last two, please. I hope you try this at home.
Yeah, so you can learn your muscles. It's really
Exactly.
cool, but it's ticklish.
It's ticklish?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to do our lateral head first.
Wait,
It starts.
Put it on my head. Where do you put it?
No, don't put it on your head. Lateral head of your tricep. It means it's got 3 different heads, and then it goes into 1 insertion point. That's what this means, Daddy.
You want me to move my hair?
Yeah, so lateral head starts at the lateral posterior humerus. So lateral, right? Posterior humerus. Lateral backside is going to be more further out. And it 2 is going to stop right here on the olecranon, which is on what bone? That's your elbow. That's on your ulna or your radius.
Like when you were ripping it, it was like you were actually ripping my
So
bone.
if lateral's on the outside, where do we put medial? Oh, on the medial side. Medial posterior humerus. Notice it doesn't cross the joint, so it's only going to the elbow joint. So the lateral and the medial head are only going to extend at the elbow.
Oh,
It's okay. Extend at the elbow. And that's all your upper body muscles that you'll need to know, I think, for your last exam. How are you doing?
I can't move my arm.
Let's get a close up. Turn it around. Do, do, do. And just placing the tape, I think, will help you out, okay? And thumbs up.
But
Thumbs up.
yeah.
Good luck on your finals.
Yeah,